Tour junkies.
What's going on, golf addicts? Welcome to the American Express 2024 betting show. We are the Tour Junkies. DB here, Pat Perry. Happy American Express Cali Swing Monday to you, Pat.
Great show, man. Excited for the Cali Swing. It was a good, it was a good couple tournaments there in Hawaii, but we got some new faces back this week, so excited to get going here.
We got a great show. We're obviously going to get to our favorite outright bets, some top 20 bombs. We've got special guest, Model Maniac, Byron Lindeque, joining us here very shortly in just a couple of minutes. We're going to actually let Byron, who is the Model Maniac, show us his model over on Bet the Number. And we're going to talk through his model, what he's seeing, what he's thinking. We've got a bet to be paid off here very soon, Patrick. I'm excited about, but talking through the week. Oh, and we need to announce the winner of one of our Siwoo Kim giveaways. We'll do that. So it's going to be a good show. Had some good times in the Discord this past week. I did some props. I was 8 for 14. Not my best, but it was, hit some top 20s. We had a little bit of an outright sweat there with JT Poston. You had who'd you have? English?
English up there. Yeah. It was kind of an average week. They were up there. They just weren't they didn't quite get to that number that Grayson, Ben and Keegan got to. So,
another one of the highlights of the Discord and one of the things, the community is fantastic, but one of the things that's happened organically in the Discord over the last few years is weird nicknames that just organically get assigned to certain players. And we had probably my favorite nickname of all time get assigned to one player in particular. I'm not going to say the player because that's a Discord secret, but Bunny Nuts was birthed on the Wednesday night live chat, and I'm excited about that. It was just an all around hot time in the Discord. The community is hopping. I love January. It's when people start getting back in, getting back engaged, getting back involved in the Discord. If you've not joined the Discord, there's a link in the description. Hop in there and join us. It's a ton of golf gamblers, DFS players, helping each other out, having a good time doing it. A lot of friends being made. By the way, if you're in the Discord, you saw an announcement about a golf outing at the Waste Management Phoenix Open with me and Pat. Be sure and check the announcements for that. If you missed that, we have about 4 spots available on that, one more group available. So I'd love to have you tune in. Check that out. And actually, while we're here, I'm going to go ahead and announce this. We gave away the 2 Siwoo packages, and one way that you could win was to leave a voicemail. And we're going to address voicemails here for the Farmers episode. I think is that next week or 2 weeks from now? Is it Farmers then Pebble or Pebble then Farmers?
I don't. Next week. It's next week. All right.
So we'll play the voicemails on next week's show. Go over those. We've also got a funny segment in store for that. I can't wait to see myself. But we had a number of voicemails come in. But Pat, a couple of them were rather incoherent. I think a lot of people drunk dialing the voicemail, which is fun. Which we might play one of those.
Yeah.
But most people didn't leave their name.
Which is, I've discovered in my older age, DB, that people don't like to follow directions.
People didn't leave their name. Like, if you leave a voicemail, which I know nobody does anymore, but we used to. You used to leave your name and number, right?
Name and number.
Now we don't leave anything.
Yeah.
So if you don't leave your name, we don't know who you are. But one person in particular did leave their name, and it was a rather funny voicemail. Our boy DT. DT in Phoenix has won one of the Siwoo t-shirt giveaways and beer sleeve. We will be delivering that to you, DT. Thank you for that. Great voicemail. So there's that.
Yeah.
Pat, this tournament. It was, I am excited. I'm excited to see the long shot season get kicked off, right? Like we had Chris Kirk at 125 or 150 to 1 at the Century. I think 2 people in all of Twitter golf had Chris Kirk. Literally 0 people had Grayson Murray. So he was like 500 to 1 on most books. So happy to see that we get the long shot season off and running here.
Mhm.
A little disappointed that I wasn't on either one of those guys. It was heartbreaking to watch Ben On miss that putt. I mean, as a friend of ours, and we shared the Ben On Instagram messages last week on the at one point on the show. I think that was kind of funny. It would have been quite fitting for him to win. But what do you think? What do you think about Grayson Murray?
Well, I
He's a
mean,
polarizing character.
he really is. I think, it was interesting because a lot of folks obviously talked about, um, his battle with alcoholism, that kind of stuff, and he's been 8 months sober, and it's really been a good story. Now, he did also used to just light up Twitter politically. It seemed like that kind of got pushed aside a little bit. But if you saw his interview afterwards, you saw like him. He looks kind of like a totally different person.
Yeah.
I mean, he just sounds like he's got it all together now. Obviously, he's mentioned his fiance has really helped him with that, and
She would certainly help me.
yeah,
That's
yeah, she would.
very
Um,
helpful. Very helpful.
she
The
could
young
be
lady.
very helpful in many ways. But it was good to see him back in the winner's circle. I didn't even realize he had won before, to be honest, until
Yeah.
they were like, "This is his second win." But he did win, and it was like
It's like an off-field event, like
yeah,
Barracuda or
it was like
Barbasol.
Barracuda, yeah, one of those. But still counts as a win, and he's going to be at the Masters now.
Speaking of Barbasol, it looks like his beard looks like it's painted on a little bit to me. It was
Yeah.
very, very clean lines, very
Mhm.
certain. I don't know. Let me say this about it, because, and I was gonna say this on Twitter, but then I was like, God, no, I don't want to get in all the.
No, you'll get into it. You can say it here, but probably not on Twitter.
Grayson Murray is certainly guilty of some things. Very, very guilty. Okay. But I think it's kind of sad that so many people on Twitter are so quick to completely disregard any sort of they can't even allow themselves to believe that maybe Grayson actually had a true change. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he seems like he genuinely got to the point where he was low. He almost died in a scooter accident, like legit. Sometimes that can change you. That can change a person. That can alter the course of somebody, where they go. And like, he seems like he had a genuine change of heart. He turned his life into a different direction. He's operating differently. And it's sad that no one will give that any. They can't even think about that, or give him any credit for that. They just bash the hell out of him. And listen, again, yes, he was guilty of some weird things, and he said some things that he shouldn't have. He's guilty of doing some things, but I just don't understand why we can't allow room for somebody to be redeemed in some manner, and to like turn their life around. It just seems like he got a lot of hate, and people bringing up a lot of old things that he said and did. And it's just so disgusting, because like, we're all guilty of so much bad stuff that we've said or done in our past.
Oh, yeah.
And he's trying to turn it around, and he's taking the heat for it. And good for him. Like, good for him. I hope it's all real. I hope it's all genuine. That's my hope. I hope it's genuine. It seems like it's genuine. But good for him, man. I don't, it's really sad when you see people that just discredit somebody turning it around like that. I didn't particularly enjoy that section of Twitter yesterday when he won.
No, I agree. And discredit, and then want to tear it down immediately. Like this guy is a total redemption story. It was a very positive thing to
Mhm.
see. And then the folks that bring all the negativity back in and just can't allow somebody to have, or give them the benefit of the doubt that they can turn it around like he obviously has. So happy for Grayson. Sad for Ben On, because Ben On has been playing so good. He was on my betting card last week. I really can't believe I didn't have him on it this week, but it's got to be coming for Ben, man. I mean, he has just been playing so well. Seems to really have it together. Also, as far as he had the deal in the fall, which was kind of stupid, cough medicine, whatever. But the guy is just such a great golfer, and he's fun to be around. Like, he's got a great personality. So hoping that we get to see get to see a win out of Ben On this year.
Yeah. I hope so too, man. He's a good dude, genuine good dude. It was good to see. All right. So in other news, though, Pat, before we bring on our special guest, Byron, the Model Maniac, is waiting. to reveal his model for the Amex and talk through that for a few minutes. You lost the bet, Pat. You lost the bet, and we had the spam bet. We had JJ Spawn, Andrew Putnam. One made the cut. One finished I don't know. Putnam finished top 20 or something. He had a decent week.
Yeah, he was up there.
Yeah, he was up there. So you are here to talk us through neither one of us have ever tried spam before, and in honor of Hawaii, which spam is very popular, we thought we'd do the spam bet.
Yeah, I mean, so I just got this whole can, and it comes ready to eat, by the way. I mean, you can cook it, but it's ready to eat. There's a lot of sodium in this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. There's a lot of sodium. I mean, if you eat the whole can, I don't know. So I'm going to open this thing up. Now, also, I feel like with spam, you got to have a good little box wine. So I'm going to open that up as well. And of course, I'm flexing on you with a plastic cup from the Masters. That's the wine cup that they have at the Masters. I mean,
if you haven't eaten spam and had wine out of a Masters cup, are you even really eating spam?
I don't think. I mean, this is the only way to do it. So, I've got this ready, and I'm gonna.
What kind of wine is that? What kind of wine?
It's a little Pinot Noir.
Is that best paired with spam?
I think so. I thought about Merlot, but I couldn't find any, so I got this Pinot Noir. Now I'm gonna open this can of spam. Oh, it is a different color than I was expecting. Okay. I was expecting it to be a little bit darker.
Oh, that is fleshy. That's real fleshy.
I mean, God. Oh, now, dang. I wasn't sure what utensil. So I bought a knife and a spoon, but I think I'm going to go spoon. And I have some saltine crackers. As you can tell,
you're going to add more sodium to it.
So I'm going to dig right into this spam.
Okay.
Okay, the spoon works. Okay, it's a little harder than I thought to.
Oh, now, are you supposed to sip the wine first and then see what flavors the wine brings out?
Oh, that's a good idea. Let me.
I mean, you are the sommelier.
Yeah, let me.
This is what's going to happen. Any of the food bets, people are going to want me to lose because I have the gag reflex and I think things are gross. Pat already has old man taste buds, so he doesn't think anything's gross. He could eat oh my God, it just
Did you see it? Did you see how that came onto the cracker?
Yeah. Anyway, I got a feeling Pat's going to just enjoy this, and it's going to be very anticlimactic. But I'm glad it's not me. Oh. By the way, while Pat's chewing, we should let you know that we talked about it last week, but new sponsor alert, Swannies. Swannies.co, Tour Junkies 25. Promo code Tour Junkies 25 gets you 25% off all Swannies apparel. They got men's golf apparel, women's, juniors, fantastic stuff. Love our friends at Swannies. You'll be hearing more about Swannies in the weeks, months to come. Pumped to have them on board. Love their clothes, love their story. Met them a long time ago. Great dudes, great people. Pat, how was that?
Listen, I got to tell you, it's not bad. It really is not.
I knew it. I freaking knew it.
I got to be honest.
I knew it.
If you've ever had, when I used to go out on the boat with my dad fishing, he always had Vienna sausages. It kind of tastes like canned, mushed up Vienna sausages. A little bit.
Are you eating another one? Is that another spoonful?
I didn't have lunch.
Oh my God. Everybody's calling for the whole can in the chat.
I don't know if I can eat that much sodium without.
Kissler said tube meat. Dude, if you ate that much sodium, your face would be swole up like Will Smith and Hitch when he had the
I may have another bite, but for now we got to get on with the show. But I'm gonna. You can't cover it up really because.
Thank God for Andrew Putnam and JJ Spawn sucking. Well, Andrew Putnam being good, JJ Spawn sucking.
Yeah.
Okay.
By the way, it didn't change the wine taste at all.
Okay. All right. Without further ado, let's bring in our boy Byron Lindeque, the Model Maniac. He is stranded in, where are you again, Byron? Are you in Iowa or something?
I'm in Iowa, boys, and it's cold and it's nasty.
There's snow everywhere. You woke up this morning. You told me you were going to be relegated to 2G cell phone signal for the next couple of weeks.
I've burned through 50 gigs of hotspot in the last 2 days, and trying to watch watch Benny on miss a 4-footer inevitably. Had I known that would have happened, I probably would have saved myself like 25 gigs. But took a nap this morning, you know, after setting some outrights out there, and woke up to that beautiful, like that little pie in the top of your phone was just there. And I was like, we're back, baby. We are back. So excited to be on the show with you boys. So excited to chat about using Bet the Number. And it's going to be, you know, last week's behind us now. Poor Benny on. We move on. And I really sentiment what you said there about, or echo what you said about Grayson. You know, I had a few tweets typed out and I deleted them before sending because I was like, you know, the guy that we lost it to could have been someone more palatable, right? Could have not been a spam can that won, but yet here we are. And Pat, that was one of the funniest things I've seen. It was hilarious. But I've had spam musubi in Hawaii before, and it's actually really good. We willingly bought and spent money on it, so it's not as bad as people think.
I'll take your word for it there, Byron. Okay, so Byron's trapped in Iowa snow, whatever. His internet signal looks like he's on AOL from like 99, but we're going to roll with it. It's very on brand for the show. Byron, if you don't know, is contributing a lot in the Tour Junkies Discord these days. He's got his own channel. He's doing showdown conversations. We really appreciate Byron joining us this year and doing that. It's been a good time already. He's responding, or the folks in the Discord are responding swimmingly. And if you've not checked out Back Nine Bets on Byron's channel, wherever you get podcasts, the YouTube channel, follow him on Twitter, the Model Maniac. He's the man. And the dude works really hard too. So I'm gonna share my screen, and I've got Byron's model from Bet the Number. Let's see if this is the right one. This is it. I've got Byron's model here on Bet the Number. We're gonna kind of talk through how he did it for the Amex. And now this is obviously early week model. It could change. We could maybe see some tweaks or some changes depending on what's happening. Let's talk through the inputs first, and then maybe let's talk through a few names on the board, maybe some surprises. I'm going to click the filter here and see what you did. So we went off of, we got a little strokes gained off the tee here, 15%. Now you filtered it. Do you remember what you filtered those courses to?
Yeah, just kind of courses that don't necessarily penalize you for being in the rough. It's courses more like if you miss the rough, you miss the fairway, you're still in the rough and still can kind of get onto the green as long as you don't have trees or anything in your way. Kind of more courses that have penalty areas on the other side of the rough kind of thing, you know. So like a little bit of Augusta, a little bit of Harbour Town, a little bit of just courses that kind of you can get away with an errant drive and it's not going to penalize you that much until you stray far too far from the fairway.
Okay.
Then I believe, birdie or better percentage from the fairway there. Like I said, with this rough, it's not like you're going to be struggling to make good contact out of this rough. It's like all dormant grass, and it's pretty simple to kind of escape out of the rough, right? So I just went with fairway, birdie or better percentage. So guys that can make birdies from solid, hittable lies.
Like it. Approach distance from 50 to 125.
Just a little scrambling, snuck that in there, you know, kind of little flippy wedge situations. Just a little sprinkle of that in there, just to, because also par 5 scoring, you'll see now later down on the model. Yeah, I think par 5 scoring this week is going to be very important. I feel like that's kind of a byproduct of par 5 scoring.
Agree. You've got strokes gained approach per shot versus the baseline here, and you went ahead and did it to 100 to 175 yards. You notated the lie from the tee in the fairway, probably taking on some of the par 3 distances there in a main approach bucket from the fairway on approach. Yeah. Another approach stat, this is, I'm sure, had something to do with the par 5s. You've got a 10% weight on 250 to 300 off the tee and in the fairway.
Yeah. So those 3 buckets, 100 to 175, accounts for about 45%. And then going into that 250 to 225 run, it's about 20% of shots. You know, there's a lot of long par 5s on these courses. So we should see some guys really dialing in those big old 3 woods and things into the green. I think thinking back to like Davis Thompson, right? He dominated those par 5s the last time he played.
Yep. He did. You got your birdie or better percentage filtered here as well. What did you filter on those?
I think I just hit all the courses by accident. So everything. My bad.
It is a lot of courses. Okay. Par 5 scoring, which you mentioned, and then putting from 5 to 15 feet. Talk to me about that.
5 to 15 feet. We just, just kind of took a peek at where, in general, that's where most birdie putts come from. About 40% of putts come from 5 to 15 feet. Can add a bunch more from, a little bit inside of that. And I think being solid, that's one of the most reliable ranges that you can also find on a putting metric. I've checked out research on that, and it seems like that's the most correlatory to strokes gained putting is 5 to 15 feet, that range. So anyone that exceeds from that range, I think I'm going to be really looking to make sure that they can make those putts in that makeable range there.
All right, so I've got the model ranking here and sorted by model rank. Give me a few names that stood out to you.
JT Poston showing up on the top of the freaking model was terrible for me because I looked at his number. I had him last week, and I bet him at 40 to 1 last week. Now he's 40 to 1 in a field that's got Scotty Scheffler, Xander Schauffele, Patrick Cantley, Tony Finau, and Tom Kim. And he's the same number. And since this morning, he's down to 33 across the board. I just can't get to that number, right? But now, of course, top of the model, it's going to be a problem. But I think I love what he's got up to lately. Maybe a top 20 will be a solid play, but we'll see where that goes. I kind of win with a few other guys. I'm going to be playing the wait and see game this week. With 3 rounds of golf, 3 different types of courses, jabronis on the golf course with everyone just pro-ams and stuff. It's just going to be chaos, right? So I'm going to try to take advantage of guys going off the different courses. And I pulled up some numbers here. So the scoring averages for the different courses over the last few years, La Quinta averages about 2.5 strokes under par. Jack Nicklaus tournament course, 2.2 strokes under par. And then the stadium course kind of averages about a stroke or so, 3/4 of a stroke more difficult than those other 2 courses. So if my guys have played the stadium course, I might try and jump on them there while we can see some leaderboard, filtering going on with the different courses in place. So try and catch the bookies sleeping somehow.
Yeah, I mean, dude, the amount of content you put out, both on your own channels, Rotoballer, where they can find you, our Discord, the amount of content you put out between rounds is insane. So if I were holding on to my units and saving some for some live firing, I'd be paying attention to what Byron's doing.
Absolutely.
Any other surprises in here? Other surprising names that stood out to you in the model? I can scroll, or I can do whatever you want to look at.
That's what I was interested in, is some of the surprise names that you liked.
Nick Taylor, obviously, I think at 130 to 1 is just, that number seems off, like compared to how he played last week. I was expecting him to be more closer to 80, 70, 50 to 1 going into the week. A lot to like about
even a little bit longer before, even that 130 to 1. I feel like he opened more than
that. He was 170 this morning when I did the first show.
So I've got a 171 Nick Taylor ticket, and 130 to 1 Nick Taylor ticket because I bet the 130, then I found the 170. I was like, if Nick Taylor wins this week, boys, I'm quitting Tour Junkies because I'm going to be retiring. No, I'm just kidding. He's playing some good golf, and I think that number is excessively long for a guy that can at any moment just light it up with the putter. I think we're looking for guys that can putt well. And if you think about the RBC Canadian, think about playing at the Waste Management Phoenix Open, the putter was clutch for him. So these are similar kind of greens to the Phoenix, I'd imagine, and I feel like he can get it rolling. So he's one of my names. And then Adam Schenk, I'm glad he showed up. He's someone that I typically kind of like to bet, and he's underrated. He's completely underrated. He just does his thing, and he's got so many top 10, top 5 finishes on the PGA Tour, and yet, we sit at, what is his odds? 80 to 1. I grabbed 110 to 1 on FanDuel. That's out there still, I believe. So a guy that's really been knocking on the door at a putting contest, like he played nicely at the John Deere Classic, all these kind of birdie fests, he can get it going, right? So especially off the tee, he tends to need a little bit more leeway, and I think he'll get just that at this tournament. So, and then I got Tom Kim. That's my other bet. Just I feel like at 30 to 1 when he popped out there earlier this morning, he had one of his worst strokes gained off the tee weeks at this course and finished T6. He lost 1.5 strokes off the tee in the 2 rounds he played at the stadium course and finished 6th. So that won't happen again. If it does, I'll eat a can of Spam on the show.
Hey,
I'll eat what's left of Pat's can. And,
yeah.
Pat will mail it to you.
I
You
mean,
can
I gotta
mail it to
think that spam can, you know, it stays good even through the
Yeah.
postal service
Yeah.
mailing. But
and the further north it gets, it's going to be a frozen block of tube meat by the time it gets. I mean, I could build a house on it. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to Tom kind of giving himself a few more opportunities on approach now that he's back on the driving train there.
Byron, do you think that this is a tournament where one of the things, and I'm always been a course history, recent form guy, always, but when you notice, and we've got these new filters on BTN where you see the course history, you see the recent form. There are other places you can look, but we got them where you can filter it to the side here. But it does feel like when you look at, especially at history here, there's a lot of people that it'll be like miscut third, miscut 26, whatever. They like miscuts than a really good performance. So that to me tells me that even more so this week, drilling down a good stat model with, recent form as far as your stats is really something to look at, just because I just see history being all over the place here.
Yeah. All three of these courses are completely off the map when it comes to predicting success. There's like hardly any correlation between, I mean, these guys, Jonas Blix and, who was the guy from a few years ago? Freaking Harris English's doppelganger. He's on Live.
Oh, Hudson Swafford.
Yeah, Hudson Swafford.
DB hit that one though. I think he hit that outright.
Right?
I did.
And
151. Yeah.
So, geez, I don't know how. You just got to buckshot that 100-to-1 range, I think, or just kind of play the wait and see game. But it's weird, and I think playing with these amateurs for 3 days it's testing. Like imagine they got one of us, and I think we would definitely throw the guy off the game a little bit there. So just limiting exposure, kind of hoping to have hit with our can.
Love it, Byron. Tell the people where they can find your stuff again before we get you out of here and let you get back to your frozen tundra in Iowa.
Well, thank you, boys. Yeah, at rotoballer.com. All my stuff's out there in the Tour Junkies Discord. I pop a few of those things in there too, and share some special little nuggies that everyone can try and make the best of. And back 9 bets, we got all of that stuff going hard and heavy on the show, trying to really pump out some good stuff on back 9 bets on YouTube, on Spotify, on Apple, boys. So thank you. Happy to be on the show. I was busting my ass off laughing at Pat with the spam. That was just one of the funniest things I've seen sitting in the studio in the back there. So thank you for making my day.
You're welcome. Always happy to do that. Thank you,
Byron. Byron will be part of the shows regularly all the rest of the year. And obviously, like I said, you can catch him in the Discord. If you like what you see at Bet the Number, you can click the link in the description to go join Bet the Number. If you're a Tour Junkies listener and you use promo code TJ, you get $5 off the monthly membership and $50 off the annual membership. But then again, if you're a paying subscriber in the Tour Junkies Discord, you get the largest discount available on planet Earth. So all you have to do for that one is DM me or Pat, Tour Junkies DB in the Discord. Ask for the promo code. We'll happily send you that and a link to sign up. All right, Pat, you ready to kind of get things going here?
Yeah, let's go.
So the SZN Long Bet, we both got guys who missed the cut. Very good. Very
good for us.
Good for us. I mean, listen, we should take pride in this because we're trying to pick big names to fade. I know we've only done this for 2 weeks now, but if you're not paying attention to the SZN Long Bet, the point is we're picking guys at 30-1 or shorter to not play well. And the person with the lowest on-course earnings from their picks at the end of the season is going to win. And the loser who has the most earnings is going to have to pay off a serious bet. I had Sahith Theegala last week. You had Matthew Fitzpatrick. Both missed the cut and both opened shorter than 30-1. So good job, us. I believe I'm still in the lead because you had Spieth week 1. I had Hatton.
Yeah.
But that's okay. It was a good week for both of us. Now we still need some more end of season punishment bets. And some of you guys are ridiculous. Like, geez, I mean, like we're not trying to get arrested. Okay. We're not trying to get arrested. We're not trying to get divorced. We're not trying to, endorse serious bodily harm. So you guys that want to see us do all these crazy things, like dial it back just a touch. Okay. Just a little bit. Anyway, so Pat's at 1.3 for the year. I'm at 320,000. So a little bit of a lead for DB. Let's open it up, Pat. 30-1 or shorter odds for the American Express. You get to pick first this time.
Yeah, I do.
Isn't that right, Tony? I think that's right.
Yeah. I'm up. All right. 30-1 or shorter. Is there a certain book we got to use?
I mean, you can't be pulling out some crazy, book we've never heard of, but no.
Well, I'm kind of changing my mind a little bit here.
I will argue. I mean, I saw the numbers early this morning. So the first look show this morning, we were in the Discord. We were firing.
Well, I mean, because I was gonna start with Jason Day, but if you look at the majority of the books, he is a little bit over 30-1. So I don't know if he can count. Now, maybe you want him to count. I don't know, but he is on the verge of that number. That's really kind of the conversation here.
Okay, well, I'll tell you this. I had Day as one of my players written down because he is currently 30-1. So if you want him, you can have him.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go Jason Day.
You fool! Right into my plan.
I don't care. He was my number one. So now my number two, I'm interested to see if you take him, but we'll see.
Why are you fading Jason Day?
Well, if you look at Day, for one, I just don't have enough confidence in him week in and week out. If we're looking at, let me pull up old Jason Day here so that I can get and dive into today a little bit. Where is he?
He's 30-1, Pat. You just filter by outright odds on Bet the Number.
Yeah, it's not filtering correctly for me here. So
it's filtering correctly for me. He's right underneath Eric Cole.
Oh, there he is. Okay. So, Day has been playing well. I mean, you look at the Century, he was T10. So I mean, I think that's fine. He's not necessarily showing up in the model that great. I mean, I don't see any green in the model for Jason Day. So I'm gonna trust the model this week and fade Day because of that. And he's played here 2 years in a row, top 20 last year, T49 the year before that. I do not think history though matters a ton. So, just Day was not. I'm not a favorite of Day this week. So he was the number one on my list to fade.
Okay. I'm scared of this one, but statistically, I think it makes the most sense. Granted, the statistics that we have, or that we can really go off of, are PGA Tour shot link only places, and that's not going to tell you the whole picture of how good this guy is and how good he's been playing. But at the end of the day, I'm not sure PGA.
This is my number two. I know where you're going.
I'm just not sure PGA West is ideal, and this is a strong range. I mean, Scheffler, Cantlay, Xander, Sungjae. I thought about Justin Thomas, right? There's Tom Kim. There's those kind of names are your 30-1 names. I'm gonna fade Min Woo Lee.
Yeah, that was choice number two for me. So we would have been just like week number one. This week we'll see how this falls, because I kind of am with you there on Min Woo.
And it's scary. I mean, he won on the Asian circuit earlier in the fall. He won the Fortinet Australian PGA Championship, not the PGA Tour Fortinet, the other Fortinet. Third at the Australian Open. But I mean, if you look at just the PGA Tour shot link stats on what he does well, of like 30 tournaments that we have PGA Tour shot link data on Min Woo Lee, only in 2 of them has he gained strokes on approach. Only in 2. So I think I'll take my chances with the other names here that I have to choose from, that open shorter than 30-1. I mean, he'll probably get to unleash driver a little bit here, but this isn't a super driver heavy golf course. There are some club down spots here. So, I mean, we'll get to see that beautiful little stinger he loves to hit. Maybe he'll hit the riser for us. He loves to show off. We got to let him cook. And I love Min Woo Lee, but I think he's the only logical option here in this range that I can take statistically. So it's Min Woo Lee. He does have the new clothing deal, Lululemon, Pat. Pat, do you have any Lululemon in your closet?
Yes, because I share a closet with my wife. So
you don't have any of your own?
No, but I do like their pants. I mean, I've
You see their joggers? They have joggers.
yeah, I know they got joggers. I'm not.
What would it take to get a strapping young lad like you in a nice pair of Lululemon joggers?
I don't. It'd take a lot,
Huh?
but I don't know. I'm kind of warming up to the idea. I am wearing some nice jogger-like pants right this minute, actually.
If the people want to see Pat in joggers one day, go put that in the comments. Come on, give Pat some
No.
encouragement. Tell him he can pull it off. He just needs to believe in himself. He needs confidence. That's all it is, right? Like
Yeah.
I think Pat in joggers at Waste Management, because we're going to be at the Waste Management. I think Pat should totally have some jogger days there at the Waste Management.
I don't know. This isn't like I'm losing a bet. We're not betting, so I mean,
Yeah, it's not
I
bad.
like comfort, especially on Thursday out there. I
They're
want to
very
be comfortable.
They are very comfortable.
We're also both. So we're fading Aussies, and we're both fading guys with new apparel deals.
Oh yes, the battle of the apparel deals.
Yeah,
That is
So-
true. And I mean, I love Aussies. I do. I see Aussie DBs in the comments, in the chat. Shout out. We love you, but I mean, we got to pick guys here. Should we set up an ankle cam for should Pat have to do the show in joggers like for a major, and we just set up an ankle cam that just looks at Pat a third? We just check in with the ankle cam every now and then.
I don't know. Maybe we could do that.
Check in on those olive skin tone ankles you got down there. See what's going on. All right, so there's the fades in the 30-1 range or shorter. Who's the bet?
Well, I like Sungjae a lot this week at 20 to 1.
I mean, how can
I'm pretty sure you like him too. I'm with Byron. I do like some Tom Kim also at 25 to 1. When you look at these, the guys this week, I just don't know. I do like Patrick Cantlay. If you do want a short odds guy, I think at 10 to 1, Patrick Cantlay is the one to go to. But outside of everybody else in here in this range, for me, it's Tom Kim, it's Sungjae M. May have a little bit of Poston, but those are really the three that I'm kind of zeroing in on. And I think if you're gonna you like a short number, I would go Cantlay.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm sure it's going to be opposite now. Like we've opened the season with 2 bombs winning. This is a tournament that 3 of the last 5 years you've had triple-digit winners in Hudson Swafford, Andrew Landry, Adam Long, and I'm pretty much I'm fading. I mean, I'm Sungjae for sure, but everybody else, screw it. Like I'll just pray that we can outrun them. I will say DB's Big Balls betting card has already dropped. Unlike Byron, who's holding his units for some live opportunities, I will be in Lake Tahoe skiing. I'm skiing in Tahoe this week at Heavenly Resort for my 40th birthday. It's also my wife's
Great
birthday.
place.
So we're going with some friends up there. Leave on Thursday, come back Sunday. It's my 40th birthday gift from my wife. And I'm not going to have time to like look and fire at live bets. So I saw the weather at PGA at Stadium Course, whatever, Palm Springs. God, I couldn't think of it. The weather at Palm Springs is literally going to be perfect all week. Not a breath of wind. Temps are fine. Winning score is going to be between that 23 and 27 under what we've seen the last 5 years. There was so much value Byron talked about it a little bit with guys like Nick Taylor. There was so much value this morning in the outright world. I hopped on the First Look show with the fellas and in the Discord, and we fired. And the very first name that we all were like, oh my God, we've got to do this, was Sungjae at 25 to 1 on FanDuel. He's since been bet down. I've seen him as short as 16 to 1 in other places. But given his record here, given the fact he just came off the century, setting a PGA Tour record for birdies in a tournament, still didn't win. I do think the Will Wilcox caddy upgrade has done some good for Sungjae, given their background, their relationship, Will's ability as a player. I think they're going to be a duo to be reckoned with here this season. So Sungjae to me is it. I'm firing on Sungjae and then I'm done. Hopefully outrunning Cantlay, Xander, Scheffler in the high variance putting contest. I'm going Sungjae and then I'm going bombs.
No love for Kim at all. Okay.
I do like him. No, I really do. I looked at him this morning too. I don't hate that. Depending on how somebody wants to is structuring their card, totally understand going Sungjae and Tom there. I don't mind Tom Kim at all. But for me, it was just like, so let's just skip to the next range. Like I went Sungjae And then I went Cole and Poston, who were both at 40-1 this morning on PointsBet when we did the first look. So I think now they're down to 35, 33, 35, which I still like. I mean, both, you just can't argue with how good they're playing. I would continue. I mean, JT was so hot on Sunday at the Sony. Guys making birdies in bunches. Those are good pro-am guys too. Like, I don't know about Cole. He seems like a nice enough guy, but we know enough about JT. Like, you have to have the right attitude to play the first 3 rounds of this thing in a pro-am format, right?
Yeah.
I just think you do. That's hard to quantify, but qualitatively, I've walked with JT. You have too, in a pro-am. He's nice. He's relaxed. It doesn't really affect him much. He's low key and he's really hot right now. I think he's fired up. So I think JT, no reason to jump off of JT and Cole, in my opinion.
Yeah. I like Poston a lot. Same with Cole. I think we just got to continue to bet Cole until eventually he gets a win. But I like them both. I like Taylor Montgomery a lot in this range. He's at 65-1. He's a guy that we kind of got off for a while. He had that great fall last year and really didn't have a great season in 2023. But T-Mont, I think is I think he's kind of back here a little bit. I love him at 65-1. He may be able to get him a little bit longer. Finished 5th here last year, had that 13th place finish last week at the Sony Open. He checks a ton of boxes when you're looking at whether it's you look at that putting from that 5 to 15 foot range that is in our model, but also Byron talked about. He's just a great putter in general. He's fantastic. Checks the box in birdie or better percentage. So I like T-Mont a lot there at 65-1.
Yeah, he gained a ton of strokes on approach at the Sony, which is where he really sucked when he got into his problems last year. So to see him hitting the irons really well like he did last week was definitely something to pay attention to. Couldn't agree more. Love the Taylor Montgomery play. That's it for me in it's Cole, Post, and Montgomery in the kind of mid-range up to 75. Do you have any more? And then I'm getting into like the 80 and 90 range and beyond.
Yeah, I think that's really it for me. Akshay looks a little appealing at 65-1. I don't know. Maybe, there's a few, and this is a week, Byron mentioned it. This is a week. I know you'll be busy, but some live betting action could be the way to go here after Friday or Saturday, depending on what the odds are. But Akshay may be one I'm looking at there. Other than that, I don't really have anybody else in this range.
Okay. I mentioned, speaking of like Sungjae being a problem for the rest of the year, and obviously we know Sungjae plays a lot. That's something to consider when you're drafting your PGA Tour season-long best ball teams over on Underdog, which I think I mentioned last week, but me and Pat slowly becoming obsessive over Underdog best ball right now. There's a whole thread in the Discord about strategy and about picks and getting in drafts together. The Discord is hopping with Underdog best ball drafts, but if you've not gotten your hands on a good best ball draft, they are doing them now. They've got 3 different contests now, a $10 entry, a $3, and a $100 entry on Underdog, and it's the perfect format. It's legal in most states, so even if the more or less isn't available to you or the pick'em isn't available to you, you can play the best ball, and it is a blast. You're just going to draft 10 guys, and once your draft is over, that's it. You don't have to pick starters. You don't have to bench players. They're going to take your best 6 throughout the season, and there is some serious strategy to the best ball stuff. We're talking about it in the Discord. There'll be more to come on that later. I've done 1 live draft already that's on the YouTube page. I did last week, and it was just kind of a get your feet wet, figure out what we're doing. I'm going to do another one before I leave this week to go to Tahoe, and I got more intel. I'm not going to share all the goodies because the people in the Discord will be mad at me, but there's some really serious strategic things you need to be doing if you're drafting in best ball. And if you don't have an Underdog account, click the link in the description and get a 100% deposit match up to $100 if you use code Junkies, or you can just use our link in the description. But the Underdog best ball stuff's a lot of fun. Highly, highly, highly encourage you to check it out. And a guy like Sungjae, who plays a lot and plays well, is a good one to have. I would move him up in your rankings, wherever he probably is. Okay. Long range stuff. This is where, dude, if anybody's read the Big Balls betting card already, I'm just firing on some of these bombs, Pat. Praying for long shot season. But The first one that I'm going to get you to is at 80-1 on FanDuel, and it's the reason you just ate spam. I mean, it's Andrew Putnam. And I know I said last week that I didn't know that Spawn or Putnam could actually win a golf tournament right now. But the more I started looking at the Amex, and Putnam loves this place, and dang, Adam Long and Andrew Landry have won here. I think Andrew Putnam could do it. He checks a ton of boxes, got a great record here. T10 last week at the Sony. Guy can putt like crazy. Approach play is usually pretty solid. He ranks quite highly in my model. I took the BTN model and added to it. Did some additional DB things into that model. He's number 10 in my overall model at 80-1. So Putnam is interesting to me. And then could I interest you in a little 90-1, Pat? 90. Billy Horschel.
God, no. I mean, look.
You and I have a thing with Billy Horschel. We're either hot or cold, one or the other.
I don't know. I mean, the thing about Billy, though, is if he's going to pop and he's going to be up there, the guy can win. We know that.
That's what I'm saying.
He is a proven winner on tour. And when you're looking at these longer shot odds, a lot of the guys don't obviously end up being, the guys that are proven winners. So I think up there, Horschel, you could probably talk me into that.
I just think I was looking at, he doesn't suit out well in the model at all, but decent finish last week. And we just know of Billy Ho that long-term, he's an accurate player. He can hit irons close. He can roll the ball on the putting greens quite nicely when he's feeling it. 90-1 just felt decent.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't feel amazing about it. It just feels like, oh, that's kind of some value in this field. Like I trust him to close the door if he's there on a Sunday better than most of the people above him until we get into like the 30-1, 25-1 range.
No, I mean, I 100% agree. I think he's a guy that like I said, I mean, if he's up there and he can win, he can close the door for sure. So that just wasn't a guy that really popped for me this week.
Yeah, he doesn't. He's not popping.
No.
I got two more in this range. I'm gonna let you go. See if we land on the same guy.
Well, I think I'm going to go back to Davis Thompson this year. He almost won here last year. He's at 90-1. I think is the best number you can get on him. Destroyed the par fives last year. Just a good scorer. So I'll go back to Davis Thompson. Made the cut last week. I don't feel like that was a great course fit for him though. Much better course this year for him or this week. So Davis Thompson, 90-1. I'm starting to get back on Taylor Pendrith at 100-1. Actually, maybe be able to give it 110-1. I do like Pendrith though.
I don't mind the Pendrith play either. I gave a good look to him this morning in the first look show.
Yeah, I think Pendrith is one that is certainly catching my eye a little bit. That's probably it. A part of me wants to look at Aaron Rye for some reason. He always seems to pop in our models, but I just don't think he could win. Like he may be a top 20 type guy, but I just don't see him winning. But I definitely could see Taylor Pendrith or Davis Thompson winning this golf tournament. Yeah,
I like Pendrith a little more than DT. I got a couple other names in here. I'm just gonna hold off on them. They're both on the betting card, so people can go if they really want it. So let's keep moving. Let's look at the bombs. We got some bombs over 125-1, and then the top 20 6-pack and locks. We'll hit that. So over 125-1. God, there's so many. There was so much value. I don't know where the lines stand now, but I mean, Byron mentioned like Nick Taylor opened at 170. I think I've seen him at like 70-1 now. It's crazy. A couple of names that interest me. How about Mr. Bojangles?
Mr. Bojangles.
Yeah. You don't know Mr. Bojangles? We interviewed him and talked about it on our show.
Oh, Chesson Hadley.
Chesson Hadley, man. Okay. Snapper guy.
Yeah.
Hadley kind of he's box checking for me right now. He's 18th in the model that I did, which could mean my model is broken, but not a great record here, which is a little surprising to me. I feel like he should do well here, but he's interesting. He had some decent finishes in the fall. The iron play kind of really started peaking there at the Shriners. You wonder if he carries over some of that good form.
Okay.
I'm interested. Now, Hadley and the next name I'm going to give you, two guys that have not played in 2024, which the trends would tell you are not going to win, because most of the winners that come here at the MX have played one of the events in Hawaii. Hadley has not. We've not seen him since the RSM, nor have we seen Sam Ryder in 2024. But I mean, Sam Ryder's obviously checking boxes for a lot of people. Iron play was also solid last year, 200 to 1 on FanDuel.
Love Sam Ryder. He is one of mine that I have written down. So if you get him at 200 to 1, I would go ahead and jump on it, because I think that's going to get shorter. I've seen him at 150 to 1. So yeah, and I like some Sam Ryder. This is Sam Ryder season we're coming up on here on the California swing. I feel like almost won whatever it was, that tournament last year that Max Homa won. Was that the Farmers?
Or was it Farmer?
When they were showing his mom. I mean,
they had his mom.
Yeah.
They got his mom.
They had almost claimed victory.
That was the biggest mush you could possibly do, was putting his mom on camera and her talking about how this is the dream and blah, blah, blah. And then, you can't do that. You can't put the guy's mom.
Ryder, I like. I like Patton Kazire this week, man. 200 to 1.
Our boy Dynamite Dean Emerson on the bag for him. They had a good week last week.
Played well last week. Kazire's a hot and cold guy, so I think that he's another one you could look at.
And he needs it. Like, his status is poor. He was outside the 125, finished outside the 125. He's got the conditional 125, 150 category, I think.
Yeah. He
needs to do some damage. And these are the kind of events where I think he can do that. I agree. I think you get that while he's hot.
And he's another guy. He's got 2 victories on tour. And I think they were back to back, or they were very close to each other. Now it's been a while, but he's a guy that can win.
He was 270 to 1 on FanDuel. What'd you have him at?
200.
He was 270 on FanDuel earlier. I don't know if he's still there.
Well, I was actually looking at his top 20. Hint, he might be the bomb top 20. But and I couldn't find him. But you're right. 270 to 1 still on FanDuel. Right,
that's huge.
300 to 1 on PointsBet.
That's huger.
Got to get in on that, I think. And then do you think about Pavon Mathieu at 200 to 1 also?
God bless you.
God bless you.
Did you really? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think our boy Darren's in here. Darren's the resident, I believe, UK listener. Is it Mathieu?
I'm pretty sure it's not Mathieu, but I just wanted to. I think it's maybe like Matthew, just Matthew. But that was the way I was putting a little French.
Do you remember? I don't know why this makes you think of this, and this is a reach. This is a pull from the depths. Okay, but you're old enough. If I'm old enough, you're old enough. Do you remember Robin Hood Men in Tights?
Oh yeah. Oh heck yeah.
And Achu.
I haven't thought about that in years.
Was it the black guy was named Achu?
Yeah.
One black guy in the Robin Hood Merry Men.
Yep.
And Mel Brooks kept saying "bless you" or whatever.
Yeah. Pavon 200 to 1. He's probably longer. I don't even know if
Pavon. I looked at Pavon. For some reason, I would rather have a couple other guys. I don't. He's interesting. There's so many guys in this 200 to freaking 300 to 1 range. I seriously could have had 40 names on the betting card. Ben Coles, the Korn Ferry Tour grad, who definitely hits the irons nicely, putts it really well. Ben Coles is interesting. He was 220 on FanDuel. And then, I'm sorry, but how can we not talk about Bobby McIntyre at 220? 220 on FanDuel. This guy has won twice on the DP World Tour. He has a top 10 at the Open Championship last year. He should have won the Genesis Scottish when I had him at 80 to 1. Rory freaking hit the 2-iron from touch by the hand of God on the 18th hole to beat him, and then actually made a putt. More on that later. I think he had a T15 at the Masters, and he's 220-1 on a course that you don't have to have experience on or course history on. Like, it's not a hard courses to figure out. 220-1 for Bobby Mack. I'm sorry. I know he's built like a bag of milk, and he's not a very intimidating character. I would imagine he's great in a pro-am format. I see all Scottish lads as just great people to talk to in our limited time in Scotland. Didn't meet one I wouldn't love to have a meal with. He's got to be a great dude in a pro-am. 220 is insane.
Yeah, I think I love it. I'm totally with you. I mean, I liked him last week on really not a great course fit for him, but he still made the cut. I think he made it on the number. I don't think he played great in the weekend, but still, I think Bobby Mack is a great play this week. I love it. So,
I cannot believe I forgot that character was played by Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
Holy crap. Blinken. Producer Tony pulling the name. Oh God. I think that's all I mean, is it kind of just because this has happened, right? Lucas Glover last year, people talking about Chris Kirk last week. You win one, you stay hot, you win another one. Grayson Murray is 220-1.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, why not? Why,
At 220, I could say that about a lot of guys, but like I don't. Technically, Grayson's not a first-time winner. This is not his first win. This is not like oh God, he's got his first one. The monkey's off his back. Now he's going to be, he's going to party all night. I mean, doesn't sound like he's drinking a whole lot these days, right? I
mean, that means too he's going to have a really large top 20 number, which would make me feel even better. So, trying to look to see what his top 20. Anyway, we'll get into top 20s here in a second.
I wonder if we can get We'll hit up our friends. I mean, does anybody know who else is a recovering alcoholic in the field? Because they're 2 times in a row. If we get one more here, I'd love to be on them.
I don't know.
And dude, NBC just loves to. We don't need to talk about that, but God, like they just kept talking about it over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Anyway. Okay, let's get to the top 26 pack. Before we do, want to shout out our friends at SoBet. Check out SoBet, where all the best handicappers are. NFL playoffs heating up. 2 games today as we record this now. Plenty of handicappers in there for the NFL. Baseball is going to be here before you know it. NBA's hot and heavy at the moment. Hockey, all that good stuff. Plus, we're in there for golf, dishing out exclusive bets every single week. Promo code TJ Trial gets you your first month for free. And, if you're like, what is SoBet? I mean, it's basically like following actually vetted handicappers who know what they're doing in their given sport on one platform and cutting out all the other noise and BS. So only the handicappers are allowed to post. Everybody else can comment. Only the handicappers are allowed to post. They have to post logic behind every play as well as unit allocations for every play. And they have to recap every play, good, bad, or otherwise. So you get transparency, you get a great community. SoBet's where it's at. We love it over there. Grateful for SoBet for partnering with us for yet another year. Click the link in the description. Promo code TJ Trial gets you that first month free. Check that out. All right, top 26 pack and locks. We're out of here. Who are the 2 locks? Pat, I'll let you go first.
All right. Well, for me, I'm going to go with Sung J M getting plus money, plus 110 on Sung J. I just think that's a easy top 20. Tom Kim will be my next one at plus 130.
I am, and I think like BetMGM is where I'm probably going to log most of my top 20 bets for the year because of the dead heat situation. I was grateful for BetMGM's lack of dead heat on at the Century because I had a couple of bets that were on the number and I got paid out in full there. They don't have odds out yet for top 20. And they're usually shorter as a result of no dead heat, but I think it's worth it. Sung Jae, if he comes in at even money at even money or better, which I doubt will be better, but if he comes in at even money on BetMGM, that's a hammer for sure. I think Poston at plus 140 on DK, and I bet he comes in at a plus number on MGM whenever that drops. I love that, just considering how good the dude's playing, how all the things we said about him earlier. And then I actually think Putnam at plus 250. I'm going to keep riding. I'm going to keep riding the hot hand with old Andrew Putnam. plus 250, and I call that a lock. I call it a lock. He's had 2 top 20s in the last 4 years here and a T21 in 2021, just barely slipping outside of that top 20 number. Top 10 last week. So I think Putnam continues the hot play, and you give it to me at plus 250. I'm excited about that. In terms of bombs, I am going with, I'm just going to go ahead and do 2 nuclear bombs. You ready? I'm going Ben Coles at 5-1, and I'm going Bobby Mack at 6-1.
I don't mind either one of those. I'll tag on another 6-1 with Patton Kazire. Top 20 there.
Don't mind that one. So who's your other one?
I thought we do one bomb for 4-1.
Oh yeah, we only do one. Why did I give you 2?
You gave a bonus one, so we got a bonus one. Yeah.
Last week, let's see how we did. We hit Kirk. We hit Putnam. That was it. We hit Kirk and Putnam last week. Connor screwed me last week.
Man, same here in DK.
He was so bad. What is wrong with that guy? Okay. All right. Great show. Good times. Well done on the spam bet, Patrick. Thanks to Byron, the Model Maniac, hopping on the show. Check out all his goodies. Roto Baller. Oh, God. In our Discord, on his Twitter feed. And we're going to go do the DFS show. I got a lot of takes for the DFS show. I'm excited. God, I knew you would like it, you sick old man. You drink it. You drink prune juice too? Have you ever had prune juice?
No.
All right. Stay tuned for ankle camp. We might bring that out here in the next couple of weeks. Next week we've got the Farmers Show, and we're going to play the voicemails. We've also got a special video for everybody that I'm very excited about. So yeah, that's it. Have a great week at the Amex. I will be skiing in Tahoe for my 40th birthday. Hopefully I don't die or tear an ACL or something. All right. Bend over your bookies. See ya.